again and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hello, nice to meet you, and if you're returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. Today is going to be another What's New Wednesday video, and if you haven't been here before, then this is a new series that I've started talking about things that I've picked up recently, kind of doing it on a more weekly basis rather than monthly, and we're going to do a little talk through of how I've got this makeup look today. It is a very simple makeup look. It is not difficult whatsoever. Very like easy, and is glossy. So we're talking about minimal, go-to, breezy, fucking supermodel style fucking shitty makeup. Yeah, you get it. That is your word of warning that I do like a sweary word on this channel. My name is Alana and I'm a lady in her 30s who loves to talk about lifestyle, beauty, travel bullshit, stuff like that. I like saying the words fuck, shite and bugger, and I am from Scotland, so it just kind of rolls off the tongue. And that back there, that is a dog. If you haven't been here before, I don't own a dog. We're looking after my other half's little pup at the moment. Not pup actually, she's probably about 6, but she's a pup as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know if you can see, but she's lying there as if she was Kate Winslet. Like, this is her stomach. She's lying up her leg in the air. Like, draw me Jack, draw me like one of your French girls. Anyway, if this sounds like your kind of thing and you fancy subscribing, there will be a little button down here in the corner. And if not, that's quite alright. We don't have to like everybody, that's okay. We don't all have to get along. The world would be a very fucking boring place if we did. But if this sounds like your kind of thing and you want to see what I'm chatting about Glossier this week, then just keep on watching. Alright, we're keeping the hair straight today. How do we feel about it? Lots of people seem to say like, oh, I love your hair like that. It's so different when it's straight. And I'm like, I hate my natural hair. I think we all just want something that we can't have. Grab yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, whatever the fuck you like. A biscuit as well if you wish. We are going to start off with a little bit of skincare. And I'll show you all the bits I've got from Glossier. But let's try and do a somewhat full face of Glossier. I don't have everything to do a full face, but there are things that I've spoke about before. I have tried a lot of things from Glossier. I will put the video that I've spoke about, a kind of brand overview. I've done a makeup and a skincare one up here, and I will pop them up in the cards if you wish to go and check it out. But let's just kind of get a little bit of a look today, see how we go with it, but start off with some skincare because I have picked some skincare up. Also today, if you think, my god Alana, Pebbles has grown, what have you been feeding that cat? No, this is a dog. Maisie, wanna say hello? This is Maisie. Oh, I don't think her head's in the shot. She's kind of over here. She's also black, so you can't see her properly because she's so dark. She's a spaniel, and this is Alan's mum and dad's dog, and she is staying at the moment because they have had to go and look after his uncle down in Birmingham because he's not very well. So that happened at Christmas as well. If you've been watching for any length of time, you will have known that we've had Maisie before. She sometimes just pops up in little videos. But let's get started. Alright, so if you've never shopped at Glossier before, you do get these little bags. Now, I used to have an option, because as I say, I've been using Glossier for a long time now. It used to be, at the start, you just always got the bags. You got lots of packaging. Then they said, basically, would you like it with or without the packaging? So for a while, I was saying without. And then every now and again I would say, well, can I have it with, because these are really useful little packets to have, little like the bubble wrap bags just for travel and stuff like that are very useful. But I noticed when I done this order, they didn't give me that option, so I don't really know what the chat is now, whether or not you just automatically get the packaging or not. I'll maybe show you this first, because actually the smaller packet only has one thing in it. So this is my prime size bag. I love this one. There is a slightly smaller bag you can get than this. Yeah, there's like a half size of this, or a third of a size of bag you can get like this. This is everything I've got my work makeup bag in, and as you can see, that is exactly the size that I have got in this order. These are so useful. But anyway, by the by, nobody really cares about plastic bags, do they? In the little bag there was Glossier You. This is the fragrance from Glossier, and I know it's a very simple fragrance. It is kind of floral, but to me it just makes me think of a really clean jumper. Like if you've just put something in the wash and you get it out, and it's, I don't have a tumble dryer, so I don't have the luxury of that. But if you got something freshly washed and tumble dried, that's what this smells like. And it is a little floral, but not in the way you'd imagine. Like, it's not like a florally scent. It's a comforting scent. It's the strangest thing. Actually, one of the fragrances from Replica, the Lazy Sunday Morning, I thought it would be reminiscent of this, but it's not. It's not at all. This is nicer. I prefer this. It is a little bit expensive, but I think I'm saying it's a little bit expensive because Glossier aren't a perfumery. They're not a perfume brand. So it is a little bit expensive. I think they could, as everything is with Glossier, I think they could kind of just tail down the prices a little. But then I'm like, what market are they in? Are they drugstore? Are they high end? They're indie? Are they niche? So actually, they're probably quite fairly priced when I think about it that way. But, you know, if you pay like whatever, £50 for a bottle of fancy ass Chanel or something, and then you pay 40, I think it is, for this, I can see why people be like, oh, that's quite expensive, but it is a lovely everyday fragrance. I really, really enjoy this, and this is the third one of these I've bought. I really, really like it. I also got a little sample, and I picked up, I thought I got 2 samples, maybe I just got 1. I picked up the Body Hero. This is the oil wash, so I got a little sample of that. I'm hoping that it smells the same as the Glossier U, but if I remember rightly, it's a little more fruity. I don't know, we'll see. Now moving on to this big bag here. So I got some new bits and bobs from makeup and some skincare. So I picked up the trio of serums. Now I have tried a few of these before. I've tried the Super Bounce, I want to say. Have I tried Super Glow? I can't remember. I've definitely tried Super Bounce. This is their hyaluronic acid vitamin B5 serum. I did really enjoy this. I thought it was very nice. So that's why I wanted a full size one. The reason I wanted to try the Super Glow, I'm sure I've tried it before, but it's because, again, I'm on my train of, I don't know how I feel about vitamin C's, and let's give them a whirl again. You alright? She's had enough of my shit. She's like, no, shut up. Yeah, I wanted to try vitamin C's again, and I thought that would be good. And I've never tried the Super Pure, which is the niacinamide and zinc, and I love the niacinamide from the Inky List, and I have tried the niacinamide from the Ordinary as well. So I thought, why not just try it? So I'll just pull these out of the box and show you. They are all slightly different. That is the Super Pure. It's like a blue bottle. The Super Glow, I'm sure, is like in an orangey bottle, which makes sense. Yeah, that's the Super Glow there. And then the Super Bounce, which is the hyaluronic acid one, is in, oh, a kind of more purpley bottle there. They're actually not that dissimilar, the niacinamide and the Bounce, but they are clear and one's like a frosted glass. So I'm going to start off, I don't have anything on my face at the moment. I did do skincare earlier on today, but I have nothing on it now. I'm going to just start off by putting on a couple of drops of the Super Bounce, because I do really like the way this feels. Again, I've said before, I'm going to keep saying it throughout this video, can you get cheaper on the high street for a kind of similar serum? Probably, yes, I'm not going to deny that. But I did enjoy this. I remember using it last time and thinking, this has made me feel plump and juicy, and I really, really like it. So I thought, I want to try the trio. It was on for a good price. I thought, let me just try all 3. I'm kind of not running low on serums. I've still got plenty of serums, but they're coming to the tail end of things. I thought, right, I want to refresh and replenish and see what all the hype with Glossier skincare is again. It's been a while since I've used it, so I picked up the trio. I feel like I might be looking a little blue today. I think it's just because it's actually a really nice sunny day outside, and because the sun is now at the back of my house almost, like it's nice and bright, but because the sun's at the back of my house, making me look a little blue, sorry. I'm going to pop on a little bit of the Super Glow as well, just because I think it will give you a nice radiance. I don't think it's known to do that. Like, I don't know if it's got, you know, any kind of mica or anything in it that's going to make it glossy, but people have always said, or I've heard people say, does leave a lovely glow on the skin. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on as well. I sat and ate my biscuits, so I left a little bit of time in between both of them. And also, if you put on like a hyaluronic acid serum or something like that, and you think, I want to let it give a little bit of time to settle on my skin, I would always suggest that you do spritz before you go in with a moisturiser, just to lock those little molecules in with that water and hold on to them. So I did do that before I moved on to the Super Glow. That also feels really, really nice. I can't say a bad thing about it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my Versed one first before I move on to this properly, but I thought still need to show you in this video what I've picked up. The niacinamide one is going to slot in for my Inky List because that is finished. I put it in my empties basket last night, and the Super Bounce one is going to slot in with my Ordinary Buffet because that is also very nearly finished. So I'll slot them all into my skincare, and I'll keep you up to date on a monthly roundup later on this month. Maybe next month, because by the time I've used them all. Okay, so what else did I pick up? I picked up a new cloud paint. This one is in Dusk. I really like this colour. I think it's very nice. I had a little sample of it before, I'm sure. Again, I've spoke all about cloud paints and dupes for them and stuff like that. I will put that video up here if you wish. They are some of my favourite cream blushes, but again, they are a little pricey. I'm sure I picked up like a set. Yes, so I did. Yeah, I picked up this little trio. It's like a little set. They do lots of little kind of sets where they clump things together and give you a little bit of a discount on Glossier. They've always done that. I know you can pick up 2 of the cloud paints for 25, whereas if you bought them both individually it would cost you 30, for instance. So I picked up this little set. I got the Lash Slick because it is my favourite mascara for work. It's very natural, holds a little bit of a curl, but doesn't really look like you've got mascara on. I know a lot of people will be like, well, why would you want it? I just love that for work, and I feel it doesn't give you any panda fall down as well. And again, I just want to look as simple as I can in work as a nurse. I don't want to look too dolled up. By all means, if you're a nurse and you love getting dolled up, you crack at it. I just can't be bothered with stuff running down my face halfway through a 12.5-hour shift, and this one works wonders for that. If anybody can tell me of a dupe for this at the drugstore, fucking let me know. Let me have at it, because I would happily buy the same kind of thing from the drugstore. It just so happens that I've not found one just quite as good yet, so let me know. And then I also picked up a boy brow. This is in brown. I have said before, if you want a really good dupe for boy brow, pick up the e.l.f. Wow Brow. They are akin. They are so similar, and I think e.l.f. might have a few more colours. I can't remember exactly. So I picked up another one of them because it was part of the set, and as I say, I picked up this cloud paint in Dusk. I also picked up one of their new Ultra Lips, and I picked it up in the shade Vesper. I can't even remember what colour this is. These are cute. So it's basically just the same kind of packaging as the Generation G lipsticks, but it's got a pink hue to it. So wait, I'll go and grab a Generation G. There we go. You can maybe see now that actually the Generation G is very white and this one has a pink tinge to it. So I picked up Vesper, and these are like, so the Generation G, I've said before, is like a soft matte sheer lipstick. It's a very strange formula, but I do enjoy them. These ones are more like a glossy balm with a hint of colour. Ooh, and I got a really kind of almost pinky berry colour, so I will swatch that. I'll put it on the lips in a wee minute. It's got a beautiful little G in the top of it. Do I need to take a photo of that before I might need to take a photo of that before I swatch it. But just thought it was a really crazy colour. It's like a really hot pink colour, and I thought, let me try that because it's not a colour that I wear very often. So let's start off with a little bit of base. I'm going to use the Nabla Skin Realist again, and I'm going to take it on my LARAFAYE F04. I've mentioned before I've received PR from LARAFAYE, and so at this point it will say ad somewhere on the screen, but I've never been paid to speak about them. The reason I'm popping this on is because I don't have the Glossier skin tint, is it? I can't remember what they call it. It's like their little like skin drops, and it's like a very sheer wash of nothing there. As I've said before, I have done a whole video overview on Glossier products, but for me, that skin tint that they do, just, it's not for me. I find it just nothing at all. Whereas the Nabla one, I'm like, yeah, of course I love a tinted moisturiser type balm as my base, but I feel like with the Glossier one was like nothing at all. This feels like it's got some moisture to it. It feels like it's going to keep me dewy. It feels like it's going to add a little bit of colour to my skin, but also have slight skincare properties. Now, not everything that I use do, but actually let me show you this one as well. I spoke about this a few months ago, and this is the L'Oreal Skin Paradise, and this one is a tinted water cream with SPF of 20. And again, I feel like that's the kind of vibe that Glossier were going for, this kind of tinted, nothing, just a wash of colour on the skin. But I found like it was just too nothing. There was nothing there. So if you want a recommendation, what I would say is don't bother with that. That's my honest truth. And I know that Gorgeous Audrey, she loves it. She really likes it. She tried it from Glossier and she really enjoys it. But for me, with slightly drier skin, I felt it clung to little bits as well. But I have seen people, like, you remember when The Ordinary brought out their serum foundation too? And people would rave about that. And some of my closest friends via this beauty community still love The Ordinary foundation. And on me, it just did not work. It was just like a little chalky, like it separated from the liquid and the pigments, and it just did not work on my skin. Maybe because I'm just ever so slightly drier textured to other people, but for me, the Glossier skin tint is not one you want. Go for something a little more like this. Maybe IT Cosmetics CC cream if you're into that kind of thing. Or even the Charlotte. The Charlotte Hollywood Flawless is really nice too. Just simple things. The number 7 one, I spoke about that before, although their shade range is atrocious, but getting better. It is getting a little better. I should also mention that about Glossier as well. Initially their shade range was pretty horrific, and I know there has been controversies around Glossier and how they were treating their staff, and basically just around the pull up or shut up movement with regards to Black Lives Matter, especially in 2020. And I think still they have not rightly addressed that, and I think they should. I do really like their products, and I've seen a lot of people speak about their products and continue to use them. I just kind of wish they would address that. I just wish they would have that conversation. I feel it's not quite hourglass, it's not quite there, but it's not for me to say because I am not someone of colour. I am not someone who has to cope with that in my everyday life and deal with those thoughts and feelings. So if you do have views on that, then please post below and let me know, because I would much rather be educated on it than speak on something that I don't know about. Alright, so that's me got a little bit of something on my skin. This is going to be a very simple and easy look, and it's exactly the kind of thing I would go for, especially just to get out the door. So I'm going to take some of the Cloud Paint in Dusk. Now it's a kind of peachy colour, but I feel like it gives me a nice warm hue to the skin that maybe looks like I've maybe got the sun a little, but it's not red at all. It's not that kind of shade. Alright, so this is the colour here on the back of the hand. I'm just going to sheet it out a little so you can see it. So it's definitely more of like a peachy nude tone than it is that of a kind of warm, like it's more tan than it is like sunburn on me, and you know how I like a little bit of both. So I'm just popping that on with the finger, and they are such a beautiful product that it is so easy to do that. But I'm gonna take a brush from Katie Jane Hughes collection. This is the number 3, and it's like a little duo fibre one. I'm gonna just start tapping that into what is on the back of my hand. I really should be using that palette I got from Be Perfect, shouldn't I? I'm fucking going well. And I'm just gonna start warming up my face with that. You can definitely see it there. It's a beautiful, just barely there colour, but still looks like you've got a little something on the skin, a little fresh, little like warmth to the skin that wasn't there before. So even in the winter, I feel like this is almost a safe bronzer for me, like a cream bronzer, because I am quite fair in the winter usually. It just gives a little something. It leaves the skin really dewy and gorgeous. I really like that colour, it's beautiful. But I think, is it Dusk? There's maybe another one that makes it look really bronzy on me, but I haven't picked that one up. But very glad I picked this up because I love that it just gives you that little peachy something on the skin. Now for the eyes, I'm going to go on one of the Sky Washes. Now I have said before as well, I wouldn't waste your money on these, to be honest with you. This is obviously not new, I've had this for a while now, but this is in Terra, and it is this orange, like bright orange colour, and it is nice. This is my favourite one out of all of them. I've tried a few of them, and I have to say, I think they're not worth your money. But this colour I really like. I love how this works. It's like a matte, I think it would be a little bit like the Rare Beauty eyeshadows, the ones that she came out with quite recently. It's like a matte sheer wash of colour on the lid. And I'm just going to take my LARAFAYE E05 for eyes and sheer that out across the lid, because I do like that how easy these go on, but I just don't think any of the other colours pack any kind of punch, to be honest with you. And for that reason, that's why I would say don't waste your money on them. But if you are going to try one, I would say try Terra. If you are darker skin toned, I'm not sure how things like Pool would look. Is it Poolside? And Lawn, I have Lawn as well. Pool is like a really light blue colour. I think it's Poolside. I want to say Poolside, I can't remember. I'll link them all down below. But Lawn is like the greeny one, and to be honest with you, it's nice. I can make it work for me, but if I'm honest, I just don't think these are worth the money. It's not where I want to spend my money in Glossier. But this one does leave a nice little wash of colour, especially if it's just a little quick something and you want to get out the door. And there we go, you can see I've like literally all I've done is just kind of blur that out, built up a little bit more on the top as well to deepen the colour, and it just, I love this colour. This colour is one of my favourite colours. It's a colour I use on my eyes quite a lot. So for me, I do enjoy this product, but I don't rate them as far as picking them up for any of the other colours. Now I'm gonna just take that underneath the eye as well. So on the doe foot, I'm taking a tiny little brush. This is just a brush that's been, I think it's an elf brush. It's been in my collection for a very long time. And run that just under here, like so. It's just very, sounds a bit cheesy, and I'm certainly not a fucking supermodel, but it's just very quick and easy supermodel on the go makeup. Like, oh, I need to look kind of decent very quickly, but also with minimal effort. And I think that's what Glossier are trying to do, and I get it. It's that cool girl chic, that shit that I can't be arsed with sometimes, but equally so desperately think my 20-year-old self wanted to be that person. But now, you know what? Just be who you are. Just do what you want and like what you like. And one day you could be something and the next day you could be something completely different. Now, I could just leave that as it is, or I could put a little sparkle across the top to build it up, make it look a little interesting. I think at the moment I'm going to go on with other little skin bits before I make that decision. And I'm going to go in with the classic Glossier Stretch Concealer. I picked up a new one because it is my absolute favourite concealer. Currently, I picked this up in G11. I'm sure that's the one I'm normally in. But I could probably have got G10 or G9. I think I've probably got the one that was just a little bit lighter than I needed. But in the winter, this will do me all year round, and it is my absolute, you can see how glossy it is in here. It's just my favourite dewy everyday balm. As I said, I've been trying to use other ones up in between actually getting into the Glossier Stretch again. And I probably will reseal this till they're all finished, but I thought for the sake of this video, obviously I need to show you the Glossier Stretch. But this is my favourite. You can just use it everywhere as a little bit of a base as opposed to foundation. And at work, I love it. I absolutely adore it because it never quite sets down. But I like that. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh my god, no, I want my concealer to set. For me personally, I've said it a million times before, I prefer to have one that's just a little, like, you can tap it and let it move about a little naturally, rather than one that's going to sit in the creases, stick there, and you really can't wipe it away or do anything with it. I like ones that maybe I can just take this in my handbag if I'm on a night out and go like that and touch it up. Maybe I don't even need to take this with me. I literally just have to do that and it moves back to where it's supposed to be. It's so easy. I also love how dewy and glossy it leaves my skin looking because I've got a drier skin texture. For me, this does amazing, wonderful things. Should have mentioned that was my LARAFAYE E03 as well that I was using there. I'm going to go in with this now. This is the stuff from Glossier Play, which is like their colour stuff, little fun stuff. They've got a bit of glitter in there and stuff like that. I don't think Glossier Play kicked off the way they were hoping it would. I think it kind of went flopped a little bit, but I have to say these colour slide eyeliners are very, very nice, and I have the colour Nectar here. So pretty. I'm going to just put some in the waterline. They work really, really well, and the colour is gorgeous. You probably won't notice it with this look, but if I was to do a line on the top of the eye, or like a really big winged liner with it or something, they're very, very effective, and I do think they're very, very nice, and they come in gorgeous colours. But again, the other stuff from Glossier Play, it just slightly missed the mark a little. So I've put a little bit of that in the waterline there. And now I'm going to go on and do a little bit of bronzing. I've got my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Glossier don't do bronzer, which is so mad, because you would think if you want to look really bronzed and like cool girl, like just skin, I feel like bronzer is a very, very important thing that they should definitely look into. I think a liquid bronzer from Glossier, that is what they're missing. I think they need to think about that and really, really look into it. I'm going to just take that right across here as well, make it look really, really nice and sun-kissed. This isn't a terribly dark bronzer, especially not because I'm very fair, but I've lost a little bit of my colour now. The sun, although it's back in the sky today and it's supposed to be lovely this weekend, it's not been here for a little while, so let's hope it's back to stay and I might get a little bit of sun about me again. So now that I've put that bronze on, I feel like I've lost a little bit of my blush, so I'm going to take that Dusk again, put it on the back of my hand again. And I know it's a cream blusher and you're kind of thinking, oh, you just put powder on. I think sometimes like these things do play together if you're careful about it. So I'm working it into the bristles of my brush again and just kind of stamping rather than moving the powder about or layering it up too much. And I should just get that colour right back there where I want it. I'm just going to take a little across the nose there as well. I'm sorry if it seems like there's a lot of noise in the background. I'm not sorry, it's just life, but it's summer, so there's kids outside playing, my neighbours are in the garden, I also have the washing machine on, so if there's a lot of noise going on, I feel like the last video that I done as well was a lot of car noise, and I thought it never used to be that loud, but I think it's just because we've been filming so many of these videos throughout lockdown, and nobody was on the streets, and now they're all back again, and I'm like, fuck, I don't remember videos being this noisy, and I certainly don't have an external mic or anything like that, so sorry. Right, I'm going to go in with mascara now, and it is the Glossier Lash Slick. I'm going to zoom you in for this, but prior to that I am going to curl my eyelashes. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit now, and I'm hoping you can see, as I said already, I have already curled my eyelashes. Now the wand on Glossier Lash Slick is a little rubber wand. It's very, very flexible. So for instance, like it moves about very, very easily, and I quite enjoy that. As I say, it's not going to give you loads and loads of impact, but for work, that is not what I'm looking for. Today is obviously slightly different, and I'm hoping now that you can actually see the wash of colour that that Sky Wash gives. But I feel like this just leaves such a beautiful fluttery look to the lashes that sometimes I just want. Sometimes I just think this looks very pretty, very barely there, and very natural, and that is certainly what I'm looking for in work. Now, I also think I've mentioned this before, I think this is a tubing mascara, so that might have something to do with the fact that it doesn't fall down my face. And I have tried ones from the drugstore that I think are going to be like this, but they just never are. So if somebody knows a mascara that does this, very, very similar, and for a little less expensive. I mean, it's not super expensive. I think this is around about £12 to £16. Again, prices will all be down below. But it's more expensive than that of one of a £5 or £10 in the drugstore. I can get L'Oreal Lash Paradise in the drugstore for £10, and it's very, very nice. I think the NYX on the Rise as well, that was only £10. And I just wondered if there was one that was similar to this in the drugstore realm that actually is a lot cheaper. So that is like one kind of coat there, and you can see there is difference, but it's not massive. It's not going to be outstanding, but I just can't emphasize enough how I love this stuff for work, and it's very, very natural. And there we go, that is 2 coats of the Lash Slick, top and bottom, and it does look nice, it's pretty. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it doesn't do anything at all. It absolutely does something, but it's just not as impactful as other ones, but I love it. I can't say enough about it. And now I'm going to do my brows. Again, Glossier Boy Brow, nothing new here. This is just the LARAFAYE E09. It's their little spoolie one, and I'm just going to brush my brows up and pop this through them. I feel like I should say, so if you're someone who, you know, has products that they know they like from Glossier, so you would buy them time and time again, that's where this is kind of a winning situation, because I would always pick up a Boy Brow if I'm going to order from them. I will always pick up a Lash Slick if I'm going to order from them. I like the Generation G lipstick, so if I ran out of one of them, I would definitely pick up another one. If they come out with new colours, then I would maybe try another one. But I think it's a company that it's not going to be ones that I have tried everything and love absolutely everything from them. But sometimes I'm like, that's not really realistic, is it? We don't just shop from one brand. I don't go into Boots and think, do you know what, I'm going to buy everything from the Maybelline stand, or I'm going to buy everything from the NYX stand, or even the Fenty stand, or whatever. Like, you don't go to a shop and think, oh, you know what, I'm just going to buy from one company. Not even when you're shopping for food, you don't do that. You might like your bread from Aldi, but you like your shopping powder from Lidl. It's one of those situations. Like, there's different places we go for different things. So I think the only downside to Glossier is that they are online, and obviously you can't get them in the likes of Cult Beauty or Beauty Bay or wherever, because it would probably be something I would shop from more or pick up more often if I could get other things. I hate ordering just for the fact of picking up a single boy brow. That annoys me, because I don't get through them enough, and when I do get through them, like for instance, this is going to last me a lot longer than the boy brow. This is not going to run out as quick, and then therefore it just doesn't work. I need to wait till I need to make a big order from them, and I think that's the only other downside I would say to Glossier. Otherwise, I think more people would actually shop from them and try things. Alright, so last kind of skin stuff going on here, and you can see the lovely sheen that is left between the Skin Realist the concealer and the blush from Glossier. But I'm going to use the Glossier Halo Scope. This isn't something that I picked up in this haul, but it's something that I've had a hold of. And this is quartz. I have mentioned before as well, the Burt's Bees All Aglow Stick are very similar, but I feel like, sorry, I'm just tapping it on my fingers and then putting it on the tops of the cheeks. But I feel like the Burt's Bee one is just a little softer, just a little bit. And actually, I probably prefer the Burt's Bees one now, but this was the first kind of highlighter that I ever used like this. And that's why I still like it. I think it's very, very pretty, very, very sheer, like just, oh, nice, glowy, dewy. I'm gonna put a little bit on the top of the lip here as well. And I'm probably just gonna pop a little bit in between my brows there as well. I quite like a little bit of a sweaty mark in between my brows there too. But it just gives such a beautiful glossy sheen on the skin. And if you feel that's too much, like you might want to powder here because it's just getting a little bit too greasy, that's fine, I understand that, I get that. You can also put it up here as well, just in the brown bone, that's really, really nice. Alright, so I think that's probably all I will do today. I'm just going to go and take the dog out now. But let me pop on some of that lipstick before I go. Alright, so these are more like kind of balm, tinted balms. And I think this one is a little more reminiscent to that of Jam from the Generation G ones. And I wanted to try that because I really used to love the colour Jam, but I only had the old version and it ran out and it wasn't very, the old one wasn't great, to be honest with you. I like that, I think that's really nice. And it's, cause it's kind of got that berry undertone, it's not too pink. I think that is very, very pretty. Probably wouldn't wear it with this eye, to be fair, it would probably be better with something else. But I like the formula of that. It's very kind of juicy, but very comfortable, leaves a little bit of shine, definitely like a balm. I feel like I might want to pick one of these up in a more neutral colour, like Cake that you get from Generation G. Obviously this one here, actually, this is Zip. That's Zip, that's their red one, but they have Cake as well, which is a much more muted kind of natural colour. But I think that's where I'm going to leave this look today. Just very, very simple, giving you a little bit of an overview of things that I've tried this week from Glossier and things that I've picked up this week, what's new Wednesday. And I'm going to go and take this critter out for a little walk now. I hope you've enjoyed it. Very simple, very easy breezy, wearable Wednesday beauty. But I will see you all again in the next one and I hope you have enjoyed. See ya, bye.